Hey everybody, this is Max Farrell from DexTrader.com, and this is another video on the Dex Bol process, Dex Bol strategy that is really powerful with the support and resistance indicator that we have. It's the only priority indicator that you will need for this. Can you trade it in an option of not using it? Absolutely. And because I'm so transparent and because I really do care about your success, I want to show you what that looks like right now. Now, hold on to your hats, because guess what? This system not only works for Forex, but it also works for Nadex. That's right. I'm so excited about this because there are so many people out there that are complaining about the Nadex process that it seems a little bit loaded, that if you're on 5-minute signals or what have you, you can't really depict a really good, strong strategy. You got to have a good success rate of about 80% or above to be in the money trades. There's too many risk variables on the out of the money trades for Nadex. So there's a lot of different opportunities here. With this system, a couple things you're going to need. A Bollinger Band, which I'll show you how to set up, the support and resistance, and an RSI set at 14. Simple, simple, simple. I like to keep stuff simple. You know me. I'm the guy with Simply Forex. Love this process. Watch this. You ready? So this system is so easy to determine. There's only a handful of variables that you have to really look at. And you got to be patient, right? You can't force the trade. But let me show you what happens. Oh my God, this is so sweet. Now we're going to go back and cherry pick. I'm talking about cherry picking. Yes, I know, blah, blah, blah. But I need to show you how it looks when it gets set up properly. Okay? A couple of things that we're looking for. We're looking for a pair, its price, to be on the outskirts of a Bollinger Band set at a deviation of 2. Okay, let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to set up the indicators list. We're going to go to Bollinger Bands. We're going to go to Edit. We're set at a period of 20 with a deviation of 2. I set the color to green, not too thick because I don't want them to get in the way, and I hit OK. Boom, done. Everything's finished. Okay? An RSI set right out of the package at 14, right? Indicator list, look at this. Support and resistance, Bollinger Band. My desk support and resistance indicator can be found at DexTrader.com. When you buy the Nadex side or the Forex side, either one, you get the indicators for free. Okay? But you get so much other stuff too, so trust me, you're going to really enjoy that in there. Now, watch what happens in a setup. What do we look for in a setup? First and foremost, the pair has to be on the outskirts of the Bollinger Band, not stuck in the mean, right? So if this is the, let's just say, overbought side, right? And this is the oversold side, right? That's not what it really pertains to, but it's the best. The outside deviation, lower deviation for a sell, and the higher deviation for the buy side, right? What are we looking for? We're looking for this thing to be traveling up, and then on the RSI to get good immersion above the 70% line. Now, when I say good immersion, does that mean that one little bot right there, that one little push right there, did that really get by? And the answer is no. We're not looking for just piercing, okay? We're looking for movement up and then movement out. So basically, we want that line, okay? Let me get a white spot up here. Okay, if that's the line, we want this thing to come up, make a higher high, and then make a lower high, all right? We want that to happen at the same time that it's on the outskirts of the Bollinger Band, right? We're then going to use the support and resistance or a support and resistance line to create either our SL on Forex or our statement price, okay, on Nadex. I really butchered that word there. Let's try that again. The stop loss on Forex or the statement price on Nadex, right? So I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. Now, currently, there could be considered a setup, but I want you to look at this. We get this little higher high there, and then it really doesn't get down to right there. We get a little pullback, and that creates that lower high, right? That's that lower high. So that's right here. We're sort of right here at this point. Now, we don't put the stop loss right here. Our stop loss would be all the way up here. So that would be a pretty big, risk in there. So you really would want this thing to go down far. All right, but because we've touched off the mean by now, it sort of disembowels this little process. What we want to see, let's see if we can find a good setup here. I'll show you what one looks like. This hasn't been rehearsed. Here's one right here, okay? We have this push in, this is the high, the next one. The next high is lower than the previous one, like that. Still above the line, okay? Still above the line's okay. If it's down a little bit lower, it has to be within a certain period of time, okay? But we're looking for that high, then that low, all right? So where does that show off in our system right there? It's right here. And then here's the next one is right here. So what we do is that we stick our stop loss a couple of pips above, 2 or 3 pips above the line right there, okay? And if this was a Nadex statement price, we could really hit it hard at that line, right? 2 pips up on the sell side or on the buy side, 2 pips up on the sell side, all right? So good news is that when this happens, it's above that outskirts of that deviation, okay? There's a support and resistance line right there, and we got confirmation of that next RSI right there. Holy crap. And then boom, if you were on Nadex, you would have got in for good money. I'm talking $30, $40, maybe even close to out of the money numbers, okay? Because it was so close. Okay, you could get $30, $40 in profit margin. And then look at this. If you wait for the rule of Nadex, you're going to wait. If you get in, let's see where it was, what time you would have gotten in. You would have gotten it, well, on this clock it says 3:15, but that's 15 minutes after. You want to wait a accumulation of 2 hours, right? So it's every hour. So this one would be, so 3:15, so 4. So you would want to go to 5 o'clock, okay? And boom, you would have definitely won. Now, it may not be 5 o'clock on your clock. It may not be the time on Nadex. It might be, this might be the 7 hours. So that's 12, because it's 12 hours ahead. So let's see, what would that be? Something, whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, so this would be 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So the whole point is that you want to wait. So if it happens at 3:15, you want to go to 4 and then 5. So it's an hour. It's an hour and so an hour and 45 minutes at that point. Sometimes it could be happening in a half an hour. It'll always be an hour plus. That's what you're trying to do on a statement price. You want to be an hour plus out on that process for it to work really well. Here is another one. We get this high here, a little higher here. This is not really super low. It's not lower. It gets a little lower there, okay? Now here, look at this process, because that happens right here, right? But we're still kind of, at this point, on that little bit of a lower. This is pretty far out. Don't know if we would have gotten a price up around in this area. But what we could have done, okay, here's the thing. As time goes on with that process, you could get a little bit riskier and put it at the highest part previously, okay? If there was a higher bar previously of getting in, so you would have gotten in right here. The previous bar high was right here. That's pretty close. You could add a couple pips for protection, and you could done pretty well, because you would only have gone out, if you were on Nadex, you went into 20, let's see, what was that? 2,200, so you went into 2,400, okay? At the end of the day, you would have took it to the end of the day, and boom, done. Big win. If this was, how you trade this on Forex, is that you put your stop loss at that number, and then whatever you're trying to get from that process, right, you stop it once it hits the mean. If it gets close to the mean, you want to sort of, get out, or if it crosses back over that Bollinger Band again. So here, you wouldn't have won on Forex, probably wouldn't even gotten in this trade on Forex, because you really didn't get a good number down, right? This wasn't a lot of movement here, right? Less than a half a point. What you're looking for is something like this, right? From there to there. A nice discerned chop of the market. Boom, boom, right? And then there's another win. Win. Now, do you make a lot of money on the Forex side of it? If you put your stop loss up here and you got in right here, you could stop out at the mean. You can move to break even once it hits the mean. Breaks down to there. So you could then, once it breaks down to the next Bollinger Band, you move down to the mean, right? Which would have been right here. And you would have made 11, 12 pips. Okay, because you would have got stopped out here. All right, so these things are all about management. Here's another little setup, but it doesn't really work out, because once it drops down too far into that area, okay, because here it is right here, you would have looked at right here, boom, come down, then it comes back up to here. All right, look, it's all the way up here. This doesn't give me a good warm and fuzzy, right? But because it's a little bit lower, it's not much, You know, what could you have done? You couldn't go on all the way up to the next support level. You could have come up to, say, 5 or 6, 10 pips up, whatever, however many pips up, and gone for it there. Forex, you wouldn't have made a lot of money. Remember, you would have moved to break even as soon as it hit the mean. As soon as it hit the mean, you move to break even. Right? So if you got in right here, you would have moved your stop loss down to here. Now it's a free trade. And then you get stopped out. But if you were trading on Nadex, you would have got into a statement price that was really close to the process for the next hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes, whatever it is. So if it starts on the 45, you go to the first hour and then 1 hour later. So if it's on the 30-minute, you go to the top of the hour and 1 hour later. Pretty simple. Let's find another one. Not one, not one, not one, not one. This one here is 2. It's like a double top process. Okay. Once it hit that next double top right here, where it does that little bit of a crest right there, or even right here, you could have easily gone back up. You know, set your stop loss up to there. When you get a big movement like that, and you got nice big runs like this, it's going to move. Okay, that's 23 pips stop loss, so you can easily go for 23 pips. Boom, look at that, almost double. Okay, you can even keep trailing that. You can, as soon as it hits the mean, you can move to break even. As soon as it hits the other Bollinger Band, you can move down to the mean, where it is, wherever it hits the Bollinger Band right there. So look at that. You would have made 28 pips right there, right? As soon as it crosses back over the mean, okay, because you keep trailing the mean, right? Keep trailing the mean, and that would have been an easy 26 pips, right? Sweet. Gotta love it. A good system like this is all about being patient and waiting for the right thing to happen. Definitely not a trade. Here's another big opportunity, but watch what happens, right? We're on the outside of this. It says something, you're going to have losses, all right? You're going to have losses, but you have to protect yourself, all right? There's that first big one. There's the next down. We put it up right about there, okay? Where are we getting in at? We're getting at right here. This is only a 5 pip stop loss happening. 5 pips. If you wanted to go all the way up to here and do a 31 pip stop loss, if you really are trading Forex to that line, right? You're trading Forex to that process, you have a 35 pip stop loss, and you're in for the long haul, you wouldn't have gotten stopped out. In fact, you would have held on to that trade for a pretty long time. You wouldn't have got stopped out for a long time, but how many pips were you looking for, right? So what you're looking for is however many pips you're in for a risk, that's how many pips you want. In this case, you wouldn't have gotten, I think you would have done okay too. If you would have came up to 5 pips off of that high, okay? And this is at the 1500 hour, so we go to 1700. There's 1700 right there, but it would have actually ended right here, right? You would have won on Nadex. Another powerful trade. So if you decide that you're trading Nadex or Forex, is another good one. Boom, boom. Another little crest right there. We would have got in right here. Would our stop loss or our statement price would have been right here. This would have been a huge win. You would have got in such good money right there. It's not even funny. I love this system. I love it, love it, love it. I'm giving it to you. I'm showing you what it is. You want to use our support and resistance, or you can draw the lines, completely up to you. It is so easy with the support and resistance system in there. You really got to check this out. I'm coming up with so many good programs right now, especially using the support and resistance system and using like Flag and Pennant and using all these other programs. Holy crap. Okay, lots of great stuff. I'm very, very excited that this system alone, okay, this one didn't cut it, but once we hit this one right here, look at this. If we got into here, we got into this bar, we could have came up here for a statement price, set our statement up even 14 at the highest level, and look at that, 14 pips. That's all we're looking for, 14 pips. We would have gotten that in the first bar. Okay, we could have broke even. Once we got to that point, once it got to the mean, we get to break even. Heads down, hits this next line. We move our stop loss and trail the mean with it. Okay, boom, stopped out right there, but we got in up here. Wait, we got in right here. So 24 pips. I don't know how much money you would have got in on Nadex. because this would only been about 6 or 7 pips, maybe a $30, $20 to $30 profit margin per contract. But holy crap. Oh, by the way, this is just one pair. If you don't think it works on other pairs, you're massively mistaken. Euro USD, one of the most volatile pairs. Don't know if this is a really good setup here because it's right across, it's like a double top. Okay, I don't like double tops, but from here to here, kind of sets me into motion. 5 pips up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set my line right there. Okay, this is 1600, so we're looking for 1800. 1645 here is where the 1800 bar starts. Definite win. Definite win. Now, was it a successful Forex trade? Not so much. Because once we hit the mean right here, we would have moved down to break even and got stopped out. We wouldn't have won any money on Forex, but we won a buttload of money on Nadex because it was so close. Go find another one. This one you could consider one. I'm not even looking at the result up here. I'm looking down here. That this is a little bit of a bar, but a little bit of an increase up. I don't like when it's not too prominent, but that's still a prominent run. Okay, so you would have got in on this bar right here. You would have set your profit up at 18. On Forex, massively huge success. On Nadex, I don't know if you would have gotten in at a great price, maybe not one at all. Okay, so on Nadex, I mean, you could even set it at the Bollinger Band side. Okay, so you would have been pretty close. You could have set a statement wherever the Bollinger Band is set or the high. Okay, so the different risk values. Here's a nice little prominent interjection passed. First one right there. Again, a couple pips up above the high. If you don't have a support line to go with. All right. So you're not looking at very much. You're looking at trying to get at 19 pips. Hits the mean down here. You move to break even. And you get sort of stopped out right about there. Okay? Now, you can also just take profit at the mean. You know that, right? You just say, give me my take profit at the mean, because it has such a powerful sense to always return to the mean. Always returns to it. Bounces off. So if you get something like this, where it interjects and gives you a confirmation right there, okay? Travel down to the mean. That's 14 pips. It's that simple. You get another interjection here with a confirmation right there. Travel to the mean, 17 pips. You don't need to get what your profit margin is if you're 19 pips or 18 pips. You would have got it quick. It's the same thing down the road later. Once you get to this next process right here, let it travel to the mean. Boom, right there, 12 pips. That's on the Euro USD. Let's look at the USD JPY. This one's huge. Holy crap. Boom. A little slight different hump right there. From right there, back to the mean. Big win. 5 pips above the statement price. 8 pips up. Probably got it for $20, $30. From that point, boom. Win. Okay, it's all the way down here. Let's go back and scroll back and find one even more. Look at this. This one's got a whole bunch of them in there. But again, we're looking for, where did it start at? One right there. Boom, boom. Okay, we're looking at 4 pips. Travel to the mean. We only got a couple pips out of that. But if you were trading on Nadex, you would have won. Look at this one. This one's incredible. Here to here. That's about 16 pips. Went against you for a little bit. Come back to the mean. Boom, 22 pips. Easy. And I'm only looking at sells, or getting in the sales rate at the moment. Some pairs have, look at this one. This one's humongous. It started in the beginning of a week, because here's the gap, right? Here's the gap. It's probably a Sunday. Okay? Boom, boom. Right to there. You could have went to the high. Okay? What you're looking for is that confirmation of the above, the interjection past the 70% line, down that first hill. Boom, come back up, set your profit margin, your stop loss above the high or wherever you needed to be. Okay? Back to the mean, 23 pips. Now, in this week, how many times did you have a trade? 1, 2, there's 2, and a win. Okay. When that would have been 18 pip trade, 20 pip trade. Wait, no, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Right to there, to there. That would have been a 9 pip, 10 pip trade. So far, 4 times now. Big wins, big wins. This one didn't work out. That one didn't work out. Now remember, because you're using multiple pairs, boom, boom, this would have been, yeah, only 6 or 7 pip trade. Another big win on Nadex, though. So you got to be patient. They don't set up every day. Like this whole day didn't set up at all. But then you get a big one the next day. No setup for a couple of days there. And then you get a couple of crazy sets here. You might even had a loss in here. You know, because it never returned back to the mean. Yep, you got stopped out. Let's see how much you would have lost then. The losses aren't very much. 7 pips. Right? Doesn't confirm, comes back, double top, a little bit higher. We don't get in there. We could have got in at this one. Okay. If we would have set to here, you would have got in on this bar. That's an 8 pip stop loss. Okay. You could have gotten stopped out to here if this, since this bar, or you could have created a whole different stop loss up here. 16 doesn't matter. You know, but if you, even if you had, you only lost 8 pips. If you were on Nadex, let's see, if you got in on, was it this one right here? You would have gotten in at the time of 12, so you went to 14. There's 1345. We're below the line. Now, not by much. By 2.5, 3 pips. Because we usually set 2 pips up on a buy. Holy crap. It's already set 2 pips up higher. So you definitely would have won. That would have been a big sell. Now, if you had set higher on the on a Forex trade, you definitely would have done better. Because you would end up getting this move. Got to the mean, got your 11 pips. If you would have tracked it to the mean, you know, just above the mean, when like as soon as it hits the mean, you bring your thing back, you bring your stop loss down just above the mean, and you go. You would have made many more trades in here. Now, you probably would have got stopped out if you were really on the mean. All right, well, that's my time. I don't want to take too much more of yours. You can kind of see that this system does work. I'm going to start doing some trades with it. I love to manually trade anything that's really super simple like this. And I'm going to set up my charts and everything on about 10 different charts and just try to track it out. I'm going to trade on Nadex. This series is called the Dex Bol. I want you to have a look at it. We're going to have some fun with this. If you really enjoy who we are, sorry, I'm playing with some deck of cards as a fidget, if you will. But if you guys really like what you see and what you hear, join us up at dextrader.com. Choose a side, whether you want to trade Nadex or you want to trade Forex. This system's going to be on both sides. So either way that you choose is going to be cool. If you're just a Forex dude, this is going to work for you. And I'll be here for you to help you get through this process and learn this process. If you want to stick with us, there's some free gifts that I'm going to give you when you get inside, like access to our DexFX copy system for a lower price than normally anybody else would be paying for it. If you want to have people trade for you so you don't have to worry about that stuff, great stuff inside. All right, I'm Max Farrell. This is Dex Trader. This was the Dex Bol Strategy series. And look more. Join the Facebook page or the YouTube channel to get all of these updates on new stuff and watch me trade this live over the next 2 weeks. And get joining. Get to the process. All right. Again, I'm Max Farrell. This is Dex Trader. I really do look forward to seeing you inside. And as always, trade well.